are the heartfelt expressions of love from thousands of people. And through the miracle of social media, have shared their messages and prayers. My heart and soul, and your spirit soul. I may never see you again, but my mind tells different tales. All that you taught and shared with me. When you and I met, my world changed the way. When you I found my life partner. Think about all the Sunday afternoons we shared, listening to sweet melodies of children and grass, singing and dancing and smiling our faces. What I have now are those memories that I will always cherish. I've never met anyone with such grace and gratitude. Truly all your good. Your kindness is unconditional. You brought us to this love so much joy and growth. So exciting for all things beyond our dreams that we transpire and dream. By far, I never know that I'd be standing there today, speaking on you in the past. I really don't have any words. I guess what I want to say is that you are the most incredible gift that I've been given this journey of life. Thank you for being my love, my best interest friend, my protector, my beautiful challenge, our best self. God is showing on me my safe place, purpose, and spiritual partner. You brought me so much joy, more than I could ever imagine. And I will honor you today, every day. I love you in this life, and I will love you in the next. Mkhize, Kamaze, Dwari, Kamo, This is Daddy is what I called you back when you were awake. I didn't know how soon that would be, how much time was at stake. You held me on your shoulders, so I too stand tall. You held me out of any situation and picked me up when I was fall. During that time, we were together. It was a Sunday afternoon. We ended up dancing together at the restaurant. We were so good, we didn't need to. Daddy took me to dad. And little did I know, it was a way to soothe my sadness, to wipe the tears that would soon flow. You will always be one of my superstars, not because of what you made, but because you and my wanted to shine so bright that you blessed me with my radiant name.
I'd like to call on Bali, the lecture from the sisters and the brothers. Meeting up with the latest feeder,
You have been our greatest source of inspiration and courage. Deep in our hearts, we will always love you.
We're representing the Mkhize family. We are his sisters, nieces, brothers, and family. I'm going to read a letter and a poem.
To our brother and cousin, Mkhize, we are torn apart because we had not expected to experience so much pain from losing you. We expected so much more from you because of your potential, the leader you were, the power you had. We are speechless because of this void in our hearts. We will love and remember your peaceful, joyful soul. Thank you for your forever smile that you always wore on your face. We will always love and remember you for the person that you truly are. May the Lord forgive your earthly mistakes and open the heavenly gates for you. Muphe Baba umphumulo waphakade nokukhanya waphakade kumkhanyeni. Makaphumule ngokuhle. Amen.
You were a young man, generally a phrase fanatic. Had a dope vocab, yeah, your words were bombastic. Indescribable is what you occurred to be, although the rap game is what you taught me. You had a swagger that don't stop, Daddy Simon never quit. No wonder every gas kid rapped like him. His presence unsteerable, appearance always bearable, only because when it comes to socializing he was capable. Linda had that power, with the raging gusty power, continuously blossoming, he's like an Eiffel Tower. I doubt his value could ever be measured. Just know that it is something that is sure to be treasured. Rest in power in the Mkhize. Kwabe, Kabazela, Gamavovo, Gazihlala, Kubela.
I think it's apt that I take this opportunity to talk about the 90s that's sitting at Mkhize. The Delta Must Fall movement is an important one. And I know that it's sitting in Parliament at the moment. Our leaders sit here amongst us, and we've been hearing calls from all corners of society. And I'm asking you to take this opportunity to heed the call. Because if this Delta Must Fall movement falls flat on its face, artists in this country will not remain minded. We need every single part of this infrastructure to help us make a living. So I'm pleading on behalf of normal citizens of this country and also the artist community of this country to make sure that this happens. Thank you.
What would we be without music? As a country, as much as we face the challenges around unemployment, I just don't understand why it's a missed opportunity to encourage our young people to express themselves artistically because, well, I guess because of the challenges in the industry. But I believe in the world, as a country, we have the gift of song and dance. It should be a national sport, if you know what I mean. And from drumming to poetry to singing to reciting, if we invested a Department of Arts and Culture
Lama-Americans ngama-waste dust. Manches, if anything, from the person of Pro, couldn't let believe they are not Pro. Even when times were hard, it never dies if we can encourage that spirit. If we can get to that, we can solve a lot of problems. Fix the data, fix the SABC, get more radio stations. And before we know it, us on us. So we pray and we hope. Okay. We are getting to almost the end of the program where we should be getting out of here just after 11. At the moment, I'm going to call the people who are going to be reading the obituary. Paul, Lax, and whoever is supposed to be joining him to come and do that.
Dalam juga kali, dalam juga kali mana? Ini dia fair. Okay, mana dia dalam salah kena dalam space ni dia nanti.
Father that died on the 8th of August 2018. He survived by his beautiful 3-year-old daughter, Mkhize, mother of his child, Diana, and his brothers, Paul, Mkhize, Sunny, and little sister, Mkhize. He survived by every young boy and girl who didn't give up on themselves. Because they saw a young man from Soweto, previously, and rap himself into eternity. Mkhize, Wali, Mumbanine, Elikanya, Amas, Isui, Ukubed.
Thank you to Mkhize and Paul, better known as Betty. He also worked with Pro as a manager in recent times. Now, Pro having passed on the eve of Women's Day, if you were at the memorial, Dr. Stoller gave reference of 3 phone calls that he got from myself, Gigi Lamane, rather 3 cries, myself, Gigi Lamane, and this lady who is his wife. He woke up to her cries rather after she had had that Pro had passed on. As a woman in the creative industries, to meet all kinds of people. And I've already admitted that Pro called me sister because that's how we related. I looked through his music when he talks about women and their experiences in the township, because as much as the story is a story of a young man in the township, it's also a story of being a young woman growing up in the streets of South Africa. There's a song that's been ringing in my head throughout the week. Things will change. It makes reference to a young woman whose parents let her down by not showing up at her school performances, and how she hung out with the wrong boys and ended up being picked up by all sorts of kind of cars in the township. And obviously, she ends up being called name. It's because they don't know her backstory. If you look at the phenomenon of blessers and sugar daddies and all sorts of things that we're dealing with as social ills as a country, he was already commenting on those 10 to 8 years ago. I also picked up an interview that he did for True Love magazine, written by Mkhize. And it's like 1-line questions that they send you, and you have to answer about different things. Talking about women, he said, the question was, a woman should never, and he had to complete that sentence. He said, a woman should never go out without money. Imagine being out on a date with a guy who doesn't treat you well. If we have money on you, you pay for your half of the bill and take a cab home. That's, for me, a reflection of a man who understood the independence and the power of what women possess. Looking at the number of women that we've been losing in our country due to gender-based violence, let's take that as a message from someone who came in our lives, who grew up in our townships and in our streets, to be kind to our women, from one brother to other brothers. Talking about his mother, they asked my earliest memory of my mom was when she used to work for Edgar's. Growing up, I didn't live with her. I only saw her after a long time. But I always knew she would bring loads of clothes with her whenever she came. Maybe cover Pro's mom with prayers and love and support when we cover the women, his daughter, and his wife through this difficult time. Through this month of Women's Month, and on the eve of Women's Day, which is the day that we lost him. As we move on now to the program, I'd like to call a woman who took to action when the cries came from the Mkhize family and the rest of the clan. Mkhize, she's our MC of Arts, Culture, Sports and Recreation. She's gonna introduce us to the Deputy Minister of Arts and Culture, who's representing the Minister of Arts and Culture, to share a few words as we continue with the program. Thank you.
But through you, siyakwazi ukutshaya. That long I not doing that thing. How long I was letting it up, it's thanks to you as artist. My name is Mkhize, the MEC for Sports, Arts, Culture, and Education in Gauteng. And till now, there's no women as a Gauteng. In Pella especially. We have lost one of those young people who made township lean or very popular. I will not speak too much because I want the Deputy Minister to have more time. But I am fully emphasize to all of you artists, which I also mentioned on Wednesday, that you must forever remain united. You can't fight 90% divided. That you can't. Since on the track, you all the radio stations, they will romanticize you in English. What's wrong in you singing this R&B in Sisu, not in Sisu? You understand? Sometimes our languages may sound very rough. Can you imagine it? Someday, last time, but it is you who must make sure that the agenda of 90% does not fall off the agenda. And it is not about SABC. Tomorrow SABC should not be ICASA. ICASA must be the first one to implement the 90%. ICASA has not done it fast. They will then compel everyone to implement the 90%. It can't be right that each time an artist, God remembers him or her, the first goal you come government, here government, so of course, when I say government, it's not my government, you say no problem. Hey, I'm not a woman, face of man, it can't be right. So the artist, the next agenda anyway is to march to ICASA and demand that 90% and say ICASA implement such ruling as we must bring the Minister of Communication, Minister where are these policies that will ensure that us as artists will benefit, us as artists will recognize. That's why it's not the education. Who are these? I'm not practicing this. But I say yes, this is allowed. You wait for a special program, but before they can play. It can't be right. So now the artist, as much as you talk about the movement of data must fall, it's young people taking it upon themselves. You as artists again, your agenda is 90% on the agenda of provincial government, of national government, in the seats of parliament, everywhere. No, it can't be right. Government, we've also established a cultural desk because we heard your cries since it's really Zimbabwe, and we say it can't be right that artists are exploited. Nothing over it, don't come and perform it or run for Mahana. You must refuse and say pay us ANC. Pay us ANC. Yeah, we may give you the platform, which is what? But insist to this is how I make my living as an artist. So you can't just say, so I wish to call upon all of us to be united, stand together, make sure that we fight for what is rightfully ours. Tonight, come and say, this is your talent, this is your business. And the business of arts and culture is you. So let us not wait to be exploited before the Papa. And footy, let us not allow, it belongs to me, there's But in a way I was. You can't forever be exploited. So only in Deputy Minister and now said the peace. But what is important, exposure of young people will only come through this 90% in all platforms of radio, in all platforms of TV, and it's you who must make sure that you push that agenda. Let me introduce the Deputy Minister who made this solution.
Thank you very much, Program Directors. Thank you very much, Comrade Faith, Masibuko ABC in Gauteng Province. Program Directors, my name is Mkhize. I'm the Deputy Minister of Arts and Culture. I'm now a year and a half in the department, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. But I'm one of those unfortunate individuals, because the ABC is so vibrant. He was an ABC of police in this province, and I was the Minister of Police. Program Directors, I would like them to greet the families of Mkhize, Labagwa, Vilakazi, sitting there, Abutana Lulefam, Amkiwa Hoto, and Elori. Tibuli is my Director General from Department of Arts and Culture, Mkhize, who is with me here. Abefundisi bemvaba ngokushiyana kwazo siyalibulisa ndiyalibumelisa. Ndibulise nazo zonke ii-artists eziphakathi kwethu namhlanje, of which ndiyacinga ukuba i-majority zii-artists ezilapha. I also greet then our distinguished guests and also members of the different media houses who are here today. And also, lastly, let me also then take this opportunity and greet you all, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow South Africans and global citizens, we have gathered here this morning to celebrate the life and times of one of sons of our land who used his creativity to turn the South African tale from the perspective of downtrodden and the rest of the land. Honorable Masibuko, indeed, you said a lot of government policies that we as government must make sure that we assist our artists, and at the same time the artists must also assist themselves. But most of the time, as the artist, therefore it is our responsibility as government that we need to keep our doors open in order for us to carry out our artists. As we are gathered here, we are shedding tears of Linda, Prokid, and Mkhize, but those tears are tears of love and joy, which derive from the practice of his craft and the respect and the extended to the community. Since the announcement of the news of the passing on of Linda, Prokid, and Mkhize, the words of condolences from across the sector and the country have been pouring, which expressed the multifaceted nature of his talent. As a country, we started the in a very bad mood. The passing of Prof. Kiurapezi Kositile and Brahim Masekela shocked our people to the core at the beginning of the year. As if the pain was not enough, we again lost two artists who was not, as if that was not enough, we lost two other artists, that is Sam Zima, Philip Tabane of the popular group Malombo. A few days ago it was Dr. Winston Jonah, and now is our own Prokid from Soweto. All these tragedies came at a time when our country needs their wisdom and contribution towards our effort in nation building and social cohesion. The passing on of Prokid has been a sad loss to our nation and to the creative world and also to Soweto. A lot of messages on social media from the late Prokid's fellow artists have indeed shaken consciousness of acknowledgement that the late Prokid faithfully lived by his active values, for being committed to his craft, for being a mentor to his younger generation, and indeed being brave and not drowned by self-pity during adverse times, as we have listened to each and every individual that spoke about Mkhize said the same. Therefore, in a moment like this, we are consoled through the words of another great departed legend, the writer Professor Mkhize, who in a poem called "To Those That Died," writes the following, I quote, "Those who died in the Sandranga and the Xhosa Wars and the Sotho Wars and the wars all over the land never perished in vain, for we are still here, holding down their heroic spirits from annihilation so that in their wandering of the nether world, their paths remain illuminated, so that the trial to us, their offspring, may never be obliterated." Close quote. Professor Mkhize gives us the courage and the strength to carry on, for we are enriched by their life contributions and we walk in these footsteps of these amazing giants. But as government, we are fully aware that this courage can always be strengthened if all role players of our society can play their respective role in ensuring the sustainability of our creatives. Getting our policy to work, to talk to core problems faced by our artists, and stay focused on efficient implementation is our main priority. Thanks to the Cabinet for approving the long-awaited revised white paper for arts and culture this past Tuesday. Thank you very much, DG, for making it possible for the Cabinet to pass that. We know that it will better the lives of our artists. Under this review policy of our department, we no longer want failure that will lead to financial waste and disruption of our artists. As we have said, as soon as the white paper is approved by Cabinet, we will make sure that we speed up the process so that this sector should be treated as a full-time work. We can't always that when an artist has passed on, we must go around knocking at the door and say that, please help us, how can we do 1, 2, 3? We must make sure that we implement all these policies, including the policy that was mentioned by Incorporate Faith, that is policies years or so ago, which was referred to as that sound. Indeed, it's not sound policy, it's supposed to be a government policy. We are making a call to artists to be perpetually mindful and conscious of the message they disseminate through their works and to the parts of people's daily lives so they can reflect on them accurately in their artistic expression. And this is what Pro, the rapper, the actor, the presenter, and the clothing label owner, Mkhize, had done in his lifetime. Trailblazing Zanzi's rap scene, released many albums, bestowed with many accolades, and involved himself in many projects, of which I think many has been mentioned here by speakers before myself. These days, it is normal for musicians to find many ways of giving back to the audience. Prokid was not an exception in this regard. With his popularity brought to dizzying heights, in 2008, Pro decided to choose an initiative that is very close to his heart. He visited juvenile detention centers by way of motivating the young people that they, like himself, can get out there and make a change of their lives for the better, as he did with the youth of Soweto. Of all the accolades bestowed upon him, Pro carries that of being the #1 Soweto boy. With the highest regard, he indeed, first and foremost, find renaissance within his immediate community, Soweto. that had inevitably spilled over to the entire Mzansi nation. It is evident that in Prokid, Mzansi gave birth to a gem, indeed a creative, respected, loyal, and kind character that all South African artists should base their conscience on. May he so rest in eternal peace. I thank you very much.
I'm sure we'll forever remember his song. No more stay at
Thank you so much to our Deputy Minister, Honorable Mkhize, for talking to us this afternoon. Artists, you heard for yourself, you cannot not be involved because Nizokhala. So especially the young ones, you know, because you're hot now, things are happening, go and influence those policies. I was telling Slicker now that speech from Thursday needs to go to ICASA, arts and culture, communications, everywhere else. It's not like 20 years ago, you know, so please, some of you are going to have to stop performing and go do things for others so that they can come and enjoy. The trees we sit under, some people planted them, they never sat under them, but we are sitting under them. That's the journey of life. So, I almost got into trouble in the week when I tweeted that Pro and I used to race down the streets of Pinkman. Oh, hey, I'm from jail. So, my sister actually reminded me, she said, yeah, I remember what you and Pro did. I was like, hey, don't say this thing out loud. I'm told outside there's so many people who are thinking it's full inside. And there's 30 BMWs as part of the so they're going to explain the proceedings going out before we do vote of thanks and then the pastor speaks. Please.
Ngizovela ku TV angishute mana.
Uyabona awafana ngiyo isona bro behind the car
Go straight baba isho. Yebela resa ngale video. Linda simfeni.
Akukho igama yathanda ukukhuluma athi istosh. Tulonyana lelakhe leli love song usesiye uyasho lapha athi sakhumbula useza ngestosh yeah shokuthi umfana uyakuzwa and wakhetha nemoto bekayithanda istosh.
And that was Prokid's. Really sad to see the Prokid's funeral taking place at Soweto campus at University of Johannesburg, Soweto campus.